Have you ever tried to catch a butterfly? The harder you chase it, the farther it flies away. But if you become still, patient, and create a welcoming environment, sometimes the butterfly chooses to land on your finger. That image has become one of the central metaphors of my life and my work, because so many of the things we want most in life cannot be forced. You cannot force health, trust, love, respect, influence, healing, joy, or inspiration. You can pursue them. You can create the conditions that support them. You can remove the barriers that keep them away. But ultimately, many of life's greatest blessings arrive when we learn to invite rather than force. That is the meaning behind the phrase, invite the best. One of the most important lessons of my life came through my marriage. I loved my wife deeply, but early in our relationship, I often found myself confused. Why did we see the world so differently? Why did the solutions that seemed obvious to me sometimes create frustration and conflict instead of connection? Why did two people who loved each other so much sometimes feel misunderstood? At the time, I assumed that if something made sense to me, it should naturally make sense to her. And like many people, I unknowingly believed that everyone else should think more like I did. Then I discovered personality science. For me, that discovery was life-changing. I began to understand that my wife was not wrong, she was not irrational, she was not broken. She was beautifully and fundamentally different. As I learned to understand and appreciate those differences, our communication improved, our trust deepened, our ability to work together expanded. Most importantly, I began to see that many of the struggles in relationships happen because people are trying to force one another into the same mold. We are often attracted to those who are different than ourselves. That's the common saying of opposites attract. But then after marriage, we try to erase those very differences that attract us to them in the first place. You see, personality science shows us that strengths and weaknesses often travel together. That isn't to say that we are putting people in boxes. On the contrary, personality science, properly used, helps us understand ourselves and others better so that we can build genuine connection. My point is, we don't overcome weaknesses by trying to squash them. Instead, we invite people to improve by helping them find their own reasons to do so. That realization transformed not only my marriage, but also my understanding of leadership, parenting, coaching, and health. I begin to see the same principles everywhere. When we understand how people and systems are designed, harmony becomes possible. Over time, that insight grew into a much larger vision. I empower families to live life in crescendo, where health, love, and purpose grow stronger with every season. Through faith, understanding, and practical tools, I help people break free from decline and disconnection, proving that aging, parenting, and responsibility don't have to mean limitation. I am helping people restore hope, harmony, and wholeness, helping families thrive physically, emotionally, and spiritually so that joy and prosperity increase together. I empower families to reduce overwhelm and energize joy by improving health, communication, trust, and collaboration. As I've worked with clients in marriages, families, and health coaching, I've noticed a consistent pattern. When one area improves but the surrounding areas and systems remain misaligned, progress tends to stall. It's like an orchestra where a few instruments are out of tune and the rest of the orchestra. It is dissonant and the music just doesn't sound right. That's why today we see so many people using proven strategies, but those proven strategies don't seem to quite be working for them. Real transition happens when multiple dimensions of life begin working together. I call this holistic harmony. Holistic harmony consists of 4 integrated domains. First, relationships and influence. The quality of your life is deeply shaped by the quality of your relationships. This includes marriage, parenting, friendships, teams, leadership, communication, and conflict resolution. When trust improves, everything else becomes easier. Second, functional nutrition and health. Your body is not your enemy. Often it is signaling that something important needs attention. When you provide your body with the right nutrients, remove interference, and create healthy routines, your energy and resilience can improve dramatically. Third, energetic alignment. Sometimes people know what to do, but they feel stuck. Fear, trauma, limiting beliefs, and unresolved emotional patterns can block progress. Energetic alignment helps clear those internal obstacles so people can move forward with greater peace, clarity, and confidence. And finally, fourth, systems and context. This is the place where I specialize. Whether in a family, a business, or the human body, context matters. The same action can produce very different outcomes depending on the surrounding systems. When you understand the larger context, change stops feeling magical. It becomes understandable, and often surprisingly simple. So these four domains are deeply interconnected. For example, poor health can create relationship stress. Relationship conflict can disrupt sleep and hormones. Emotional blocks can undermine healthy habits. Flawed or non-existent systems can create overwhelm even when everyone is trying hard. When these areas begin to align, people often experience profound changes. They gain more energy, better communication, greater trust, increased peace, stronger families, and clearer purpose. This is holistic harmony. One of the most important insights I've gained is that life is more integrated than most people realize. Many of us have been taught to solve problems in isolation. Fix a symptom, have a difficult conversation, take a supplement, work harder. And sometimes those things help. But often a deeper issue is systematic. Health, relationships, emotions, and environment all influence one another, and when you begin to see these connections, your world changes. Problems that once seemed random start to make sense, solutions become more effective, and hope returns. This podcast is about helping you see that bigger picture. So in future episodes, we'll explore topics such as personality science and communication, marriage and family relationships, parenting and homeschooling, functional nutrition and health optimization, energetic alignment and emotional freedom, systems thinking and practical life design, faith, purpose, and living life in crescendo. My goal is to help you understand how these pieces fit together so you can build a life of greater harmony and joy. So if you feel overwhelmed, if you sense that better is possible, if you're tired of trying harder without seeing lasting change, I want you to know there is hope. You do not need to force transformation. You can learn to create conditions that invite it. You can invite better health, better relationships, greater peace, and deeper purpose, as well as stronger families. In short, you can learn to invite the best. Thank you for joining me in this first episode of the Invite the Best podcast. If this message resonates with you, please subscribe and share it with someone who believes that better is possible. And remember, when health, communication, trust, and alignment come together, families can live life in crescendo. Until next time, I am Stanley Black, and this is the Invite the Best podcast.